Well, hello you lovely creative people. Matthew here with Gear Sounds, and today we're going to cover every single sound inside the Boss RT2. Let's get started. So I'm just switching between the two modes, fast and slow here. This is the fast mode, that's the red. By default, when you hold down the switch, it's going to switch between the modes. So we have three modes here. Mode 1 is like a classic Leslie. So I haven't even touched the drive here. If I put the drive at maximum on mode 1, so again, here's my clean tone on the Princeton reverb here with bone dry, no reverb. So that was just using it like a preamp. There was no motion there at all. Let's see the slowest or the fastest the fast can go. So the fast is the inside tight one. It's the max speed on fast. Look at that light go. Here's the minimum speed on fast. We'll bring down the drive a little bit. We'll put the drive at noon. It's actually quite nice. So that's the minimum speed of the fast. Let's go over to the slow. This is still on mode 1. So the fastest speed on the slow. Let's compare that to the slowest speed on the fast. So it's the same, I guess. So if you don't want any change, I don't know why you'd want that. You can do that. I guess we can get a very, very mild change if we adjust them there. Yeah, you're basically making it more and more subtle, or more and more intense as you push those inward. And this is how we'll get all the sounds. I'm going to call this, you know, the width between the fast and the slow. We can just keep increasing the width from the max width, which basically gets 0 distance or 0 changes between those two. So now we start squeezing it in here. Watch this. You know, the rotary tends to lend itself better to chords, right? I could probably use it for leads, but it might be better on the third mode. The third mode has a little bit more gain. Just a quick note about the modes here. Mode 1 is, like we talked about, the sound of a standard Leslie. It says 1, 2, 2. Not sure what that is. This is the most typical of the 3 modes and can be used for a wide range of instruments. Interesting. I'm going to try it on keyboard. Mode number 2, this is based on the sound of mode 1, but is adjusted for a wider range. Interesting. So we'll probably have slower and faster. When combined with other distortion effects units, a natural sense of spaciousness can be obtained. So mode number 2 has a wider range, and it's also going to accept distortion pedals better, I guess. We don't have any distortion pedals going in front of it today, but we can try that later. And finally, mode number 3, which I'm most excited about. This is a new dimension of rotary sound. The marketing, I love it. That combines a strong sense of rotation and deeper distortion. It's like they've already sold you the pedal, you're reading the manual, and yet they're still selling you on the pedal. Compared to other modes, the attack feel, sonic definition, and the amount of distortion are emphasized, offering greater presence in an ensemble setting. Okay. Yeah, we're definitely going to get to that, but let's tiptoe our way in. I still want to squeeze that distance. I accidentally set the chat to top chat. Let me change that so anybody can say something. I'm going to change it to live chat. All messages are visible. That can be dangerous, but I'll keep my eyes open. Here we go. Hope you guys are having a great day, a great life, and a great week. I'm actually going to turn the drive down, or off, completely. For now. Maybe not. The drive is actually kind of nice. We'll keep it at noon. Because it does have a nice, pleasant crunch. And then that'll kind of be our default for exploring the modes. And then we will do max drive and no drive as well. Now there is a switch on the top that lets you change how quickly it'll go between fast and slow. I have it on the slow setting, but let's switch it to the fast really quick. If I wasn't doing a pedal demonstration, that setting might be more useful, but trying to reach over with my hand and get it, it's like I don't get any of the benefits of it. So we're going to keep it on the slow setting for the demo, but I think both could be useful depending on the tempo of the song. Let's continue to increase the insanity. I don't know what that is. That sounds like digitally. Do you guys hear that? That right there. There's like a high-pitched squealing whine. Maybe that's a noise from my guitar, and it's confusing the modeler. That might be the case. Let me see if I can put something in the headstock really quick. What do I got here? I can put a sock in there. Yeah, let's do that. You know what? No, I'm not going to do that. I think other guitars are going to have noise in them, and I'm not sure other people are going to understand that the way that this technology is working, it's going to require a very noiseless setup, which I think is why there's a noise suppressor built into this. I read in the manual. I'm now reading the manual before I start videos, and I have a nice professional light and new setup. I hope you guys enjoy it. But I think that's why. I think it's actually going to suppress the noise before it reaches the unit, so that it won't produce artifacts like that. Sounds a lot like my VG800, which is digitally processing things, but I'm hearing some kind of twang. Oh, that's coming through the microphone. I was like, what is that sound? That's the sound of my rubber finger. Not the pedal. All right, let's increase it to maximum before we go to mode 2. A little extreme, but Totally doable. Now let's increase the drive to max. I'm not sure I like that tone. It sounds a little out of phase with too much drive. Still sounds a little strange. See if I can move microphone position here. Slightly better, but not great. So minimum drive. And maximum drive. Some boomer bends there for you. All right, mode 2. More width, right? So by more width, does it mean faster? I think so. Let's check. Nope. Not any faster. What about the slow mode? That one's really fast. I don't know what they mean by more width. Maybe it's in the balance. So we can turn the drive into a balance knob, which balances the treble versus the bass speaker. The red is the treble speaker and the blue is the bass speaker. Max gain. They said extended gain, so this should be crazy, right? max gain on number 2 is definitely sweeter than number 1. And number 3 is supposed to be even bigger, so. So let's see if the maximum slow is the same as the minimum fast, like number 1 is. It seems to be the same, so maybe it's that balance switch. Or the drive. That is very nice. That's very pleasant. Curious what that would sound like with some reverb here. Let's turn on some spring reverb on the amp. Rotary and spring reverb were meant to be. Rotary and spring reverb were meant to be. Oh yeah, that sounds nice. All right, back to evaluating the pedal. We'll turn on more. We will turn on more reverb later. We're still going through jack number 2 on the Princeton reverb, so we're getting less distortion, so we can get a cleaner evaluation of the pedal here. All the way down on the gain for number 2. That is so juicy. I love it. I love it. I mean, it's as good as any other rotary pedal, right? But it's by Boss, so you know it's bulletproof, and it's super simple. I just don't like there's some menu, like not even menu diving, like some complicated, very silly processes for just adjusting some basic functions, like how the pedal functions. But I guess that's not basic, right? Stuff that you won't be adjusting very often, I guess, in fairness to them. But I wish there were a few more buttons, maybe 1 or 2 more switches. I'm always like that with a Boss pedal, though. So I think I'm biased against Boss for that reason. That's why I love the GM800 and stuff, because it gives me and the RC600, because it gives me a full menu. This, you know, simple. But at the very least, I have this modulation effect now. This and delay and reverb and univibe and phaser. I mean, I love all of that stuff. Wah envelope filter. It's all about what you like, right? So if you like a Leslie style sound, you'll like this pedal. And there's other pedals that do it. This is just the Boss version. It's about what I expected. I'll put it that way. It's good. Okay, it's time for mode 3, finally. This one's supposed to be the crazy one. Anyone remember this song? You don't even have to be that old to remember that one. Swirly. Okay, max drive should be fun here. And I'm going to turn up the slow one here. Bring it closer to the fast one. Okay, this is one I want to bring back the reverb a little bit here. See what it sounds like with some spring reverb from the Princeton. Just turning the reverb down from 4 to 3. All right, let's bring in the expression pedal now. This should be fun. What? You've had an expression pedal there the whole time? Yes, I have. let's make that a little more extreme. That is epic. Okay, so expression pedal, I wouldn't say is required, but you're certainly going to get a lot more out of it. Like a ton, like I would say 100% more, like twice as much out of the pedal. Probably should have turned this on sooner, but the smile on my face is definitely worth it. Any old expression pedal will do, even though Boss says in the manual, a non-Boss pedal could damage the pedal, which I find hilarious. A passive device could damage the pedal. Careful, guys. So I don't think I mentioned, I'm actually setting the end points with the expression pedal here on the pedal itself. So I'm setting the lowest setting on the slow and then the fastest setting on the fast. And check it out. Fastest on the fast, slowest on the slow. And here we go. Let's turn off the gain here completely. No gain. When I have it set to max, it's too much. This thing is so ridiculous in some sections here. So I didn't play with the balance knob, but I also didn't do the expression pedals on mode 1 and 2. So let's go back here. Max drive, because I'm now addicted to the drive on this pedal. I think it sounds nice. Let me take down the how extreme it is. It's not bad. Mode 2 now. So let's finish this demo here. Ryan Ward says you got to try in stereo. Yeah, the reason why this video or this live stream was late was because I was very much trying to figure out a way to get it into stereo. But my Headrush Flex Prime, I needed a TRS to stereo output for the effects loop section to properly film a stereo video for you guys. So I'm going to have that ready for Sunday's video. For now, this is me just getting this content out for the algorithm's sake, because I know I'm not big enough to have this pedal sent to me on the day that, or before it even releases. So I'm getting it the same way you guys are, just ordering it where it's available, and it's sold out everywhere pretty much. I thought this was cool, so I still like it. You can get some like pretty nice Gilmore tones there. You know, I like to think that I film my videos for the average Joe, and I don't know the average Joe would appreciate a stereo rig. Then again, I like to consider myself an average Joe, and I watch that pedal show where they do stereo setups. It's going to be a nightmare to set it up, but maybe I could do a stereo amp setup. I do have a twin reverb. Get the twin reverb and the Princeton together would be a ridiculous stereo setup. That might be actually a lot of fun, especially if I put the twin reverb on this side of the room, move some stuff over here that I'm looking at. I think we might do that. Why not? Just turn this whole room into a stereo setup. That would be kind of epic, actually. And I would be able to film stereo videos. So thank you, Ryan, for that comment. I appreciate that. We will get on that. It's another reason to try a bunch of pedals in stereo. You can try the GM800 and stuff. Well, actually, synthesizers may not work as well through the tube amps, but it would still be a lot of fun. Might be fun to have two, like a full range speaker on one side, and then have the guitar amp on the other side. That might be good. Oh, you know what I could have done? I could have recorded out of the Spark. Oh no, there's no stereo input on the Spark, so no. Now, lastly, let's play with the balance switch. The balance switch on the top means that the the drive knob changes into a balance knob. And the balance is going to change whether we are hearing the treble speaker or whether we're hearing the bass speaker. So it's basically going to act like a tone knob. Let's put it that way. So let's go ahead and switch that on top and turn that on. And now our drive knob is a tone knob, and all of our drive settings, how we had them, are going to be memorized across all three memories, all three modes. That sounds horrible. That's more biased towards the low end. That sounds a little better, but still kind of muffled. now I'm a little annoyed because I want to lower the drive and I have to switch the switch on top of the pedal. And while I'm here, I might as well lower the drive on all 3 patches. And now I'm going to switch back to the balance. Okay, there we go. Now we're in the balance again. That's the usable space to me. I don't want to go any higher than that or any lower than that. So I don't know about that. What are you doing, boss? Then again, I guess there are people that like to get wacky, right? I mean, let's do it just so you can hear it. It is so nasally though. Okay, that's max balance. And we are on mode 3. Here we go. I mean, come on, really? Why is it not letting me switch between speeds now? Oh, duh, I have the expression pedal plugged in. I almost forgot. That yellow... You got to see the check switch is actually technically yellow, not green. At least right now. That sounds terrible. And going all the way down, it's also going to sound terrible. How did I know? What do you know? It's also terrible. But we probably have some usable tones up here. Between like 11 o'clock and 1 o'clock. Ryan says these pedals are more realistic than the Vent or the Strymon Lex, in my opinion. I disagree. I think the Vent is the king of the rotary pedal, but I think it's more expensive than this, right? And this also has a better interface in that you actually get to see the rotation, which I think is very useful. In terms of sound quality, though, I think the Vent beats this a little bit. This definitely sounds more realistic. But I think it's digitally. When I'm playing it, there's kind of artifacts. It sounds like almost like a modeling thing is happening, which I guess that's probably what it's doing, right? It's probably just using a little computer in there, a little DSP chip. Don't know. Doesn't matter. I'm just using my ears to kind of estimate what it's doing. Sounds really good, though. Very good. Gets an 8 out of 10 from me. B+. I would just like more control, more, just like 1 or 2 more knobs would give it. No, 1 or 2 more switches, or even 1 or 2 more buttons would give it an A- or an A for me. It's so warbly right now. Oh, there we go. It's sensitive because that's how I have it set, so my own fault. I set the speed. So there we go. That's better. Hey, be nice. Joel says this is a weird one. Where has this pedal been used in the wild? 11 then said, where has this pedal been used in the wild? What are you talking about? I don't really understand what he means either, but I think he means like, has it been played live on stage? Joel, this pedal is based on a Leslie speaker, so it's a very old design. It's definitely been used in the wild, and it's been used for many years. Pedals of its type have been used for many years, and this is one of my favorite new additions to the collection in terms of modulation. I'm a fan. I think it sounds nice. I mean, it's not like the most convincing Leslie in the world, but I also don't have it plugged in stereo. I think if it was stereo set up, it might be more useful. Joel says, what albums has the Leslie speaker been used on? So I assume you're asking about the Leslie speaker itself, not the Rotary Ensemble. This is a newer pedal, and what this has been used on is inconsequential because it's just a rotary effect, and it's emulating a Leslie speaker. So what you'd probably want to know is, what albums were Leslie speakers prominently featured on? Well, a lot of Pink Floyd, a lot of Hendrix, Stevie Ray Vaughan used them, Santana used them. A lot of the classics, some of the best guitar players, they were originally intended for keyboards, like church, basically. And guitar players got a hold of them, and the rest is history. It's just two speakers, basically. It's like a rotating bass speaker and then a rotating treble speaker. They're like little cones, and they point out, and it sounds all, warbly, like this. And it came with a little foot switch. When you press the button on the foot switch, it would take the speakers between a fast speed, and there was only one speed, you couldn't change it, and then a slow speed. And then you could just, while you're playing, just... Ryan says, you'll be amazed when you hear it in stereo. I'm actually excited. I'm going to plug in the twin reverb as soon as possible. I don't think by this Sunday's video, but we'll definitely see. And then Ryan also said, very cool demo, and to do it live too. Yes, the reason I'm doing these demos live is I think live video is the future. Just like I thought when video came out and the ability to watch video changed my life in terms of being a sound engineer and producer. I learned how to be a producer and do everything that I do on this channel through YouTube, basically over the last 20 years. And so I think YouTube and online video is the future of your job in some form. You're going to be making content for somebody at some point or helping make it. And I also think that live video is now the new future. I see the kids doing it, and I'm 37 years old, and I'm like, oh dang, you kids with your live streaming. And I'm thinking, I'm a little annoyed by being live because if I make a mistake, I can't edit it out. But I also understand why the kids are kind of drawn and gravitating towards these live streamers. It's authentic. You can't fake it. I can't fake being a good guitar player on the stream. If you see me make a mistake, it's going to be there forever. If I say something stupid, it's there forever. There's a kind of a cool, I don't know, authenticity to that. And I wanted to also talk to you guys more than just in the comments. So, yes. Yeah, exactly. Ryan is agreeing with me. He's saying exactly right. Yeah, and learn AI, guys. Make sure you're lifting weights. Release your... I want to curse right now, but I shouldn't. I'll say your damn music. Release your damn music. Stop holding it and be like, oh, it's not finished. Finish it. Release something. Put something on YouTube. Not just, oh, it's on SoundCloud. No, YouTube. Stop being afraid of the biggest platform and put it there. And it doesn't have to be amazing. You could put a blank album cover. Okay, just get it out there. It doesn't matter if it gets 11 views or 2 views. The point is it's there so that when you die and you pass on, it's not bottled up inside. Release your music, you guys. And if you haven't recorded anything and you haven't learned how to record, get to it. Get to it. Anyways, I'm losing viewers on the stream. Let's get back to the pedal. And don't forget to lift weights, guys. Hike 7,000 steps a day in nature. Make sure you're scanning your food with the Yuka app. That's not sponsored. I wish it was. And get all the unhealthy ingredients out of your life. Anyways, back to the pedal. I would say the expression pedal is pretty essential with this pedal. And then according to Ryan, stereo is essential, but yeah, I guess so. Not as essential as the pedal, though. What's crazy is the expression pedal is going to give you more function than a second amp. In other words, a second amp is going to make it sound 20% better, but the ability to control the speed with your foot is way better than having the sound be 20% better. And the audience is not going to notice a stereo setup. They're not. Your musician friends who came to your show are going to be like, bro, that stereo setup was epic. But the audience and your grandma and your girlfriend and every drunk person in the bar, they're not going to notice any stereo setup. So don't worry about it, guys. Fine, it's good for recording. And it's amazing to get you in the recording studio sounding perfect. But other than those situations, you don't need it at the bar. If you want to do it at home, that's fine. But remember that an expression pedal is always going to be more functional than a wet-dry setup. So get the expression pedal first before you go wet-dry. And then if you want to go wet-dry after expression pedal, go for it. My recommendation, at least. I know I did that, and then I still got the wet-dry setup. As you can see behind me, I have a triple amp setup, so I could technically do the stereo setup here. I just don't have a third microphone. I only have 2. So we'll have to get a third microphone for a stereo setup for this. Claviation says, hey, I noticed that if you run it in stereo, the output A is quieter than output B. Output B. Have you noticed this too? No, I haven't, because I haven't done it in stereo yet. But I also I read through the whole manual, and I saw that there were different modes. And I think if you're doing the output B, you're probably hearing the dry mix or the wet mix. There was a setting where you can change that, what comes out. If I remember correctly, I just read it yesterday, so it's fresh in my memory, but not that fresh. So you'll have to take a look at that setting and see if maybe that's what's going on. By default, you should be able to go mono into the pedal and still get stereo out. So that's not the problem. I'm just trying to troubleshoot here for you. Not sure. Not sure on that one. But check that setting. check the manual where it mentions how the outputs work. You know what? Let's test it. Let's plug into output B right now and see what that does. That might be the DD500 then. The DD500 is a distortion. If you're going stereo out of the distortion, you shouldn't be getting volume drops in either the channels going in. So coming out, let's test it ourselves. Yeah, I'm not seeing that same volume drop there. Sorry. I won't do that again. There we go. I'm getting a weird sizzling sound. Are you hearing that? What in the hell is that noise? Oh, you know what that must be? That must be sympathetic noise with my guitar picks on the that's taped to the amp. Let's take them off and see if that's the case. Yeah, that's what it was. Sound engineering knowledge. So if you're hearing vibrations in your amp that sound like rattly, sometimes just check anything that's touching your amp. Check in the back of your amp. Check that there's nothing loose. And then also make sure that your tubes are pushed in nice and neat and that there's nothing rattling in terms of the screws if it's used. Because the whole thing's vibrating so much. It's vibrating so much. Now it sounds fine. I was like, what is that rattling? The distortion on here is not bad, actually. You can use mode 3 like a distortion pedal too. Listen to that. And if I turn the speed all the way down, it's so slow it's like it's not moving anywhere. So it's basically a distortion pedal now. Alright, you guys, well, that's going to do it for this demo. I'm going to head over to my music channel and stream over there. So if you guys like my playing and you want to follow my music channel, it's Pyricent Music. That's P-Y-R-I, scent like smell, P-Y-R-I-S-C-E-N-T, Pyricent. And I'm there Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We tried to get there early tonight, but I had to set up this live stream because the pedal arrived at my doorstep. And I hope to see you guys in Sunday's video, because I'm still going to stream this pedal on Sunday. Bye-bye for now. You know what? I'm actually going to play us out. Why not? Till next time, guys, thanks for joining. Drop a like on the stream if you enjoy it. Subscribe if you loved it. And if you really loved it, I got donation links in the subscription now, so take a look at that. And if you want to buy this pedal, there's an affiliate link in the description. All right, now we're going to the music channel. Thank you, guys. Give me, 20 minutes or so. Got to take a break, get something to eat, and I'll be back on the music channel right before 10 o'clock, which is way later than I wanted to be, but at least I'll be making it for the night. So I will see you guys over there if you're interested in that. Otherwise, bye-bye for now. Thanks for the likes. Thank you for subscribing. And buy the pedal in the description. Helps out the channel. Doesn't cost you anything extra. Bye-bye. See you on Sunday.